So the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is officially a thing, and so is the price, unfortunately. Because yeah, this almighty 2024 foldable is £50 more expensive than the previous generation, starting from £1,799. That's for the 256 gigs model, rising to £2,100 for the 1TB effort. Oh, bloody ouch! But is it worth selling your newborn to the black market to bag this massive flexible git, or should you make do with the older Z Fold 5? Well, Samsung kindly let me have a bit of a grope of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 ahead of the official launch, and I compared it side by side with the old Fold 5. So here's my early thoughts ahead of my in-depth review. For more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now the Galaxy Z Fold 6 weighs 239 grams, so it's a wee bit lighter, as well as a smidge thinner compared with the Z Fold 5, although frankly it is still a proper chunkster. Meanwhile, Samsung has also killed those rounded corners, giving the new full-sized foldable a proper rectangular finish with flat edges. That external 6.3-inch dynamic AMOLED screen is just 1mm wider compared with the Z Fold 5, so it's not quite as ridiculously sausage-like. And if you zoom in when you're watching a bit of YouTube or whatever, you get slightly less cropping. We're talking quite a minor difference overall, though I definitely prefer a fatter cover screen, but hey-ho. And Samsung has also slightly boosted the resolution for the Z Fold 6 to 2376 by 968 pixels, and plus it's upgraded that cover screen to proper LTPO tech, ranging from 1 up to 120Hz refresh. Meanwhile, the hinge has been pushed in a bit to counter the extra width, so you still get a pleasing bit of hand feel. The Z Fold 6 certainly isn't any more girthy. You've also got an enhanced Armour aluminium frame and hinge for this generation. According to Samsung, this is slightly more scratch resistant than the previous generation, although it sounds like the difference is minimal. You've once again got a bit of Victus 2 glass slapped on the front and back end, same as the previous Bendy Wonder, complete with a frosted finish around the arse end again that's pleasingly resistant to smudgy, greasy nastiness. The Z Fold 5 was IPX8 rated, which meant it could take a serious spraying or even submerging in water, but it really didn't like dust, dirt and grit and stuff like that. Thankfully, Samsung has improved the design for the new Z Fold 6, so it's now IP48 rated. Hence, it's slightly more resistant to any teeny particles that try to infiltrate that hingeal region, so you can confidently rock your Galaxy Z Fold 6 down the beach. And colour options for the new Z Fold 6 include silver shadow, pink and navy, plus you've also got some black and white Samsung.com exclusives. Flip open the Galaxy Z Fold 6 and you'll unfurl an almighty 7.6-inch internal screen. And it's basically the same sexy 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display as before, except for an upgrade to the general brightness from 1750 nits to 2600. And Samsung's Vision Booster tool is once again on hand to make sure that everything is crystal clear even in strong light. And personally, I've got to say, the old Z Fold 5, I didn't have any issues with general visibility and that thing, even when I was using the thing outdoors with shades. But the Z Fold 6, certainly that little bit brighter. Again, excellent visibility when you're using it in bright daylight. Samsung has squirreled away another 4-megapixel under-display camera up at the top right edge, although its position is rather clear where the picture gets a bit pixelated. And apparently Samsung's all-new protective layer, which coats that inner display, offers improved shock absorption. Although yeah, the crease is still kind of obvious when you're not viewing the display head on, but I did find that that bump was slightly more subtle when you're running your fingers across it compared with the old Z Fold 5. Of course, you've got the latest One UI software stuffed on there, complete with many AI-led features, all handily deposited into a single settings menu folder called Galaxy AI. Now, Samsung agreed that some of these AI tools and features will be coming to the older Z Fold 5 in an upcoming One UI update, but it couldn't actually specify exactly which ones will be transferred over and which ones will be missed out. But I got the chance to go hands-on with quite a lot of these new AI features, and I've got to say some of them look pretty bloody nifty, including the fresh new conversation mode, which they've crammed inside of the interpreter tool. Just sit the Z Fold 6 up like so, with the cover screen facing someone who speaks a different language to you, and then say your piece, and that cover screen will spaff out a translation in one of the 16 supported languages, so your buddy knows what you're banging on about. Your foreign chum can then respond in kind with the internal screen showing a translation. And as well as displaying this translated text, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 can also read out these translated responses, just in case you can't be bothered to read text. And apparently the Live Translate tool now works in third-party apps like Microsoft Teams and also WhatsApp, with improved noise cancellation if you happen to be chatting away in quite a noisy environment. I didn't get the chance to test these out, unfortunately, in my hands-on session, but stay tuned for my full review for more on that. Samsung's web summarization tool is also now available, spaffing out a bullet point summary of any page that you can't be asked to fully absorb. And Circle to Search has also been improved in a couple of key areas. For one, you can now circle QR codes in order to directly go straight to that link. And if you circle a sum, then Samsung's AI will break it down for you and solve it right there on the screen. That's cracking news, kids. No more solving that math shit with your brain. Nobody got time for that. And if you're having to suck at art as well as mathematics, well, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 can help out there too, transforming your woefully sketches into something that Picasso might have possibly maybe been proud of, with a handful of different styles to choose between. Even more impressively, you can actually draw directly onto a photo and the Z Fold 6 will merge it in. So for instance, here I am with a lovely heart added to my t-shirt, and the AI even made sure to stick it in underneath my lanyard, or in one case it actually added it to the lanyard. It's eerily good. And in another example that Samsung showed us in the briefing, you can basically sketch a crude pair of glasses onto a person or a pet even, and then the AI will put a pair of specs on them. And thankfully the metadata in these touched up photos does clearly record that it's been altered by AI, but yeah, if you wanted to, you could certainly abuse the bloody hell out of this tool just to add all kinds of libelous stuff to photos of someone you don't particularly like. The mind boggles. And something else the kids might like is Portrait Studio. This can create a 3D style image of you or morph you into a comic book character, a pencil sketch, even a proper 3D cartoon. Here's your Uncle Spurt if he appeared in a Disney movie. Absolutely loving that heroic chin action. I'm guessing I probably wouldn't get away with saying the word cockwomble though. But anyway, as expected, buggerloads of AI tools to mess about with, and of course the Galaxy Z Fold 6, just like the Z Fold 5, once again comes with full support for the S Pen stylus. No massive shocks as far as the performance goes. The Z Fold 5's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 has been ripped out and replaced with the 8 Gen 3 for this 2024 model, backed by a healthy 12 gigs of RAM. It's the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy to be precise, an exclusive refined version that Qualcomm pumped out especially for Samsung. Of course, I'll have to wait until I get my mitts on the proper review unit of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 to really put it through its paces, test it out with a good bit of Genshin Impact and other games. But like every other 8 Gen 3 handset out there, I'm sure the Z Fold 6 will smash through the likes of Genshin even on the highest graphics settings, especially as Samsung has apparently boosted the size of the vapor chamber. It's now 1.6 times bigger. However, bugger all changes for the battery tech versus the Z Fold 5. You once again get a 4,400 mAh capacity cell with measly 25 watt wired charging support, plus equally as tediously slow wireless charging. And not much news on those cameras either. It's yet another 50 meg main shooter plus a 12 meg ultra wide angle effort and a 10 meg telephoto snapper with 3 times optical zoom and 30 times maximum zoom. Seems to be the exact same hardware and very similar results to the Z Fold 5 in my side-by-side comparisons, although the aggressive over-sharpening at the maximum 30 times zoom level seems to have been tempered somewhat in the Z Fold 6. I'll have to have a proper play with the Z Fold 6 of course to see if the software shenanigans has been updated to a point where the camera photo quality has improved. Stay tuned again for that full review. You've got the usual array of camera modes on the Z Fold 6, including a proper Pro mode and a video mode for capturing up to 8K resolution footage at 30 frames per second. And Sammy is also promising improved night performance when you're shooting video thanks to the on-device processing. And yes, there is a 10 meg selfie camera stuck in that front screen, but like the Galaxy Z Fold 5, it still makes me look all bald and saggy faced. So yeah, optics clearly not a priority for Samsung when it comes to this big bendy bugger. And as you can see from the rest of the design and the hardware, it's a minor gentle evolution at best in most key areas. They've clearly concentrated a lot of their efforts on the AI tools and features and other software shenanigans. So that right there, in a tasty wee nutshell, my lovelies, is how the fresh new Galaxy Z Fold 6 compares with the older Z Fold 5. As I say, hopefully get my mitts on this big bendy bugger soon, so stay tuned for that in-depth review. It'd be great to hear your thoughts though in the meantime down in the comments below. And please do plug subscribe, ding that notifications bell, all the other usual YouTube bollocks, and have yourselves a bloody wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!